Well, hello there, all you amazing people. Today we are going to look about how to optimize Windows for, well, the MSI Claw or any gaming handheld. And this is going to be a 101, an easy way. Like, basically, I'm just utilizing as much as the settings as I can utilize within Windows. We're not going to do advanced, or not advanced. We're not going to look into the command lines much, if at all. We're not going to do Reddit edits and stuff like that. That could be a part 2, because I kind of have, like, depending on how this video goes, there may be a part 2 where we go into a little bit more of the little bit above entry level, so that command lines, Reddit edits and stuff like that. And then the advanced one, that will be part 3, where we actually make a custom ISO with Windows for game handhelds. Because the way you set up for a gaming handheld is different from how you set up for a server or laptop or coding machine and stuff like that. So I hope you guys will, girls, aliens, robots, will kind of understand this going into, like, because a lot of this is like, a lot of things are hidden that people don't know that much about, and a lot of this will be like, oh yeah, I get it, I know, I already did this, like, I knew this like 10 years ago, but this is like a 101 entry level kind of thing, okay? A little bit of house cleaning. Because a lot of people come in, or some people come in and say, I will not say a lot because I'm a nobody on the internet, but if anything you have to, or the only thing you have to contribute to this conversation is like, oh, Windows bad for gaming or handheld, or why are you not using the Steam Deck or Linux and stuff like that. If that's the highest IQ conversation you can bring to this conversation, go out and take your pickaxe and strip mine in Minecraft, or run around in circles and drooling over a penguin or something like that. This is not the conversation we're going to have here. It's not why we are making this video. It's not even adjacent to what this video is about. I could make videos about Linux. I may even put Linux on the claw that I have here. But for now, this is if you want or need Windows for specific games, workloads, etc, etc, etc. So if you're one of those people, depending on how obnoxious you are even either just getting banned or you comment and getting kicked. Because this is not the conversation we're having right now. If you can't be adult enough to understand this, which also I really hate that I have to say this, but if you can't be adult enough to understand this, don't be part of this conversation, okay? Also, watch the video to the end before you comment with, like, do this or what about this and stuff like that. Because I may address it, like, X amount of minutes into the video, and if the video is too long, because this is going to be a long video, I get it, then just don't comment, okay? Just don't comment. Another one, why don't use a depload script and stuff like that, a deploading tool, which they can be great, depending on who's making them, of course. But I rarely, if at all, recommend anyone to using any deploading script or tool, because at some point, something may get broken, or something may not work that the way that you want it to work, and you don't know why it's not working like that, and you are bitching and moaning and yelling and screaming and blaming Windows, Microsoft, and reinstalling Windows because you cannot revert or reset something you've done with a depload script because you don't know what they're doing. I keep advising people for this, or tell people this. There's no problem with using deploading script or tools if you know how to undo everything they do. Those things out of the way. I will really like it if you watch the video to the end before you do any commenting, liking, or anything like that. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And go on to my Discord and recommend more videos like this. I am having the claw here. I don't know if I can, because it's tethered with, like, dongles and whatnot. I have a dongle. If you unplug that one, you can't see anything. But I have, like, a dongle, like one of those just stock standard laptop dongles, where I have plugged in a Logitech keyboard. I think it's the pedal. So I'm using the joypads for navigating as a mouse, just to showcase that you can do it a little bit. Another thing I would recommend you guys to do is update everything. And yes, this is Windows. It took me... I got it yesterday. When I woke up this morning, it wanted me to update to 22H2 or what the fuck it is. And there's probably a 25H, whatever the fuck it is. I didn't get that yesterday. And before I updated to that, this MSI Center didn't work. So there must be something in the newest OS that requires Windows H OS or major OS update that requires the MSI Center to work. And as you guys can see here, it's a Intel Core Ultra 5 135H. It's actually a really good CPU. Like, it's a really, 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 really good CPU. The only problem is this. This is what's holding it down, is the Intel Arc graphic card. And I will say, you probably get better graphic card performances out of an AMD processor, sadly enough. This is not my main gaming rig. I have a gaming rig. This is just me want to game in bed, on the couch, maybe take it with me to work, game a little bit in a break. So yeah, it's a really, really fucking good hardware besides the GPU. It does gaming well, and it's really good for emulating us. There's a lot of videos out there. A lot of people don't like this for some reason, but I find it actually really, really good. So you have a little bit of idea what's going on. Yeah, it's 16 gig of RAM. Never had a problem with it. How big is the NVMe? It's only 500 gigabyte. What you could do is get a dongle like this. This is like a really, really good, cheap, especially on Black Friday sales, NVMe to USB-C 10 gigabytes per second port, and that's way good enough to have in game. And you can plug that into the little USB device dongle you have up there. Yeah, you would have a dongle playing around. You can tape it on the back or something like that. You can even get one that's smaller than this, like half the size. That's where the SSD is built in. This you can change yourself. Get one of those small ones, they're like half the size of this and a little bit thinner. And you can plop that on the back, and you can have like 2, 3, 4 terabytes of that if you want to. But now you get a little bit of idea what's going on. So I think I like to do is, if you want to get into it, so we have seen the process stuff. Like, I like to just look at this stuff here. What's actually going on here? And there's a lot of things here. We have credentials guard, which is probably a thing you should have on. We have CFT loader, what the fuck, game bar, you know, Intel Endurance Gaming Wizard, blah, blah, blah. We have Intel Graphic Software, we probably need that one. Killer Analytics Software, Killer Network Services. What is this? What is this? It's probably some telemetry kind of stuff. And I noticed that got installed with a lot of MSI stuff, all this killer stuff here. So I really don't want to take it away. And you can see I've also edges running in the background here. I actually don't like it doing that, and we could actually just end the task if we want to. There you go. Is it running? I'm looking at my Steam Deck here, because you can right-click on and say allow running in the background, which I already have taken that off, which you should be doing. So down here, you can, you get your task menu, and if you see the edge icon, you right-click on and say don't run in the background. It will still do it to some degree, but it's just, Mongo mode. I think I can. It's something that I don't recommend you to uninstall. But you get the idea here. We have a lot of MSI Center. We have some noise cancelling and I can't fucking pronounce this. Yeah, you see, you have a lot of stuff down here. Steam is running. So this is not my main display. My main display is down here. That's where actually my Steam Deck is. Should I make this my main display so you guys can see what's going on? So like I said, down here, you will get like the edge thingy, and you can just right-click on and say no. Also, you can see here it's in snooze mode. I would also recommend putting this in snooze mode all the time, and don't ignore me or annoy me kind of, or ignore me, don't annoy me kind of mode. You can see up here I have like edge. I also have Opera installed. So I kind of just like to go back over here. Whoop. Go in here and see what's actually wrong. Is there anything here that stands out? And that probably is, like, most of us don't know what half of this means. And I will typically not disable or enable anything in here to begin with. I then also like to go in here and look at where's the start. That's app history, startup apps. So you can see here, this is the one that popped up while we were talking. I don't like that. So I will go into properties here, and I think this is the one. No, that's not the one. Disable. This should disable it from running on startup, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this should disable it running on startup. Copilot is disabled, luckily enough, thank God. In-house game processor, yes. Killer Intelligence Center. It's an Intel kind of thing. It's disabled. Good. Microsoft Teams, disabled. I think I uninstalled this. But yeah, mobile devices. I like to disable that one. Also, Microsoft Edge. Disable. OneDrive, I will keep this on for now, but if you don't want to do that, you can do that. It's the browser assistant, sorry. That one I want to enable. The Opera browser itself I want to disable. The phone link is disabled. RTK, I think this is like a sound card kind of thing. Spotify, yeah, I installed Spotify, like said previously, you know. I wanted to be able to... I want to use it a little bit as a media center also. But this seems to kind of go okay. So I disabled a lot of stuff. What do we have here? I think this is users, details. We're going to get like a detail list. Again, in here, let's click over here. There's a lot of stuff in, and I recommend don't mess with anything in here unless you know what it is. You know, like, you can easily break your system or get something not to work by disabling something in here. And I know a lot of people's default, and I know a lot of the deep loading scripts mess around with the Xbox gaming integration, which you need to run the MSI control center, that you need to control the gaming aspects and the power profiles and you know, this stuff up here. You need the gaming, you know, this is part of the game bar. So if you don't have the Xbox game bar, you can't do stuff like that, like this while you're in game, basically. This one here will not work at all. There you go, dismiss. I'm just, again, this is just me being stupid. And you can see down here, there are updates. I recommend going in and updating all of those. This won't work without having the game, the Xbox thingamadooski enabled. And it takes some time getting used to using these two screens here. This is why I'm fucking it up a little bit. A lot of people say, oh, this is why they love the Steam Deck, for example. It's like, it's a handheld. It's a handheld gaming computer, and they are right. Most people are not going to use it like you and I using this right now. Most people just putting it in, downloading it, setting up Steam, whatever it is, and play games on it. This is just us nerding out. Most people that are buying a handheld console are never going to use it like you and I are doing right now with a dongle in and stuff like that. Don't for 1 second think this is the norm. This is just us nerding out massively right now, okay? They are not going to do this. They're not even... They don't even know they can do this. They think they can only use it on the screen. But, like, we could go in and we can play YouTube videos, you know. We have, like, a full-blown fucking web browser. Like, just try to... I never used this before, so just try to set up a little bit. But, yeah, we can go in here. We can do a lot of shit in here, you know. Like, we can use it as a full-blown laptop if we want to. And it's actually a really good laptop. But most people are never, ever going to do this. So the second thing that I like to do is... down here. Let's put that up here. Is I want to go into settings and then, you know, fiddle around with the display, the setting notifications. Is there anything here I don't want to get notifications for? I don't really want from the store. I don't want Xbox. How to play. You go in here to additional settings. You can fiddle around with this as much as you like. Turn on Do Not Disturb automatically. I would actually just, if I was being honest, maybe doing this all the time. Because this is not meant to keep up with your Kardashians and your Twitch drama and your Twitter drama. So I may just disable this. I may go in here to set priority. Maybe if it's like, let's say you may be using this in places where you need really important messages, maybe set that up. That could be like at work or something like that. I'm not saying you should game at work, but you get, you know, my idea here. I may fuck around in here a little bit, just to get less irritating by it, basically. Power battery is another one that's really good. So right now here, it's set to balanced. So plugged in, you can go for this if you want. I notice balancing is really good plugged in. On battery, this actually matters quite a lot, funny enough. And you can also do this in MSI Center. If you go in here, you can set to performance balancing, super battery, manual kind of thing. But if you want, you can do that in there. But if you want to be kind of like extra conservative, I recommend that if you're on battery, you do this. You will lose FPSs, okay? I'm not going to bullshit you. This don't mean that you can run, if you ran on 60 on balancing or 50 or 60 on power performance, this is going to impact you. But I do this on my development laptop, anything that runs on battery, when it's not plugged in, I care more about not having to plug stuff in, then being able to get the not latest, but super high FPSs and or super massive fucking CPU performances. Like if I'm rendering a video on battery, I know I'm rendering on a battery, and I'm on Windows, so I know that I have to sacrifice time to get battery life, and I'm willing to sacrifice time for getting battery life. That's the whole idea of being on battery, is that you want to be untethered as long as possible. Because if you are on battery and you only can do your workload or your game for like 10 minutes, you might as well just not be fucking portable, You might as well just be tethered to a desk anyway. That's just my philosophy here. So, plugged in, I just keep balancing. On my development laptop, I actually go for best performances, but if it's like just a normal laptop, I will do this here. And again, this goes for almost any setup for any laptop or handheld or battery-driven device that you want to. So here, sleep hibernation. This is also a really, really important thing for against battery life and stuff like that. So here, plugged in, turn off screen. Yeah, why not? Make my device go to sleep. And if plugged in, I don't like it to go to sleep. And it's a it's a Windows problem. I have noticed that hibernation sleep mode on Windows is not super good. It works 90% of the time. On Linux, it works 80% of the time. On Mac, it works 99% of the time. So I don't like to go into sleep mode and stuff like that unless it's necessary. So on battery, turn the screen off after. And I actually, again, on battery, we want to save battery life. I actually really like 2 minutes, if not 1. Make my device go to sleep after. Again, battery life. 3 is the recommended. Again, I may go down to 2. Because it does actually really help your battery life. This here, laptop, gaming handheld, this is how I would do that on all of these, okay? Display percentage battery on the taskbar, you can do that if you want to. Energy saver. I think that, so here, allows use energy saver. Allows use of energy saver. Turn on energy saver on automatically when battery is, and I think this is a little bit too much. I like to go down to 10%. Low screen brightness on energy saver, yes. Battery use, and here, if you are on a laptop, I could just quickly show you what I will do here. So, plugged in, pressing the power button will make the computer. I think I keep it asleep. Press the button, the sleep button will make the, closing the lids. If I'm plugged in, I will, there's no, oh, it's because so on your laptop, there will be one called turn off the screen. I would do that here. I would just keep this because it's a gaming handheld. And the same here, I would just keep that here. But on the laptop, I would closing the lids. I will be turn off the screen. So that's kind of what we go in. And this is going to be, we're just going over some stuff in storage. I want to do nearby sharing. Off, yeah. Let's just keep that there. Multitasking, snap to desktop, title bar shake. You can fuck around with this if you want. I don't typically do much about it. Advanced performances. Enable the end task and taskbar by right click. So that means that if you enable this one here, you can now go down here and you can do end task. Good idea. Enable long path there. Remote desktop. This is something your home edition of Windows doesn't support. Okay, fine enough. If you had the Pro edition, I will turn that off. Where were we? Advanced. So, sorry, I went too fast. Terminal. That's just, again, if it was I would probably do PowerShell. But this is not a development computer. Enable sudo, leave that off. Development mode, don't turn that on. Tripod, leave all of these off. Create a dev drive. Yeah, you don't need to do anything in here. Unless you want to develop all it. There's a lot of things I'll do differently in here. Activation, it is activated recovery. Fix problems without resetting your computer. So you can go in here and you can do a lot of things. Oh, I went too back. Reinstall, reset, go back, reset now. Big machine memory. I will mostly not do much in here, to be honest. Again, handheld, not computer. Let's go into AI for the moment. So this one has no AI. Good. If it had any AI, disable it. More Windows features. This is probably the one you see the best, you know the best. So media features, yeah. Microsoft Print to PDF provides binaries on the system for creating a Microsoft Print to PDF queue. I will take this off because it's a gaming handheld. You may see a need for it. You know, print and document services. If you are sure you're never going to print from this device, I will take that off. Remote difference comparison API support, I will keep that on. If you have a NAS and stuff like that and you want to talk to it, you may want to enable some of these. Visual or virtual machines performances, maybe for emulation. Workflow client, allow file synchronization with a configuration file server. I may take that off. So it's scanning for required files, so it's going to disable right now. So in there, you can kind of, you know, if you feel like, I'm never going to print from it, I'm never going to do this, yeah, then disabling it. But you get the idea. Be a little bit skeptical, because you may need it at some point. System components. This is where a lot of people are like, blah, 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 let's disable everything. Get help, a good idea. Have the store, a good idea. Mixed reality portal. Advanced options. I can't even uninstall this. Well, there are ways of doing it, but like I said, we're keeping this as simple as possible. Phone link. Background component permissions. Never. And you could reset it and stuff like that. We will go into apps down the line here, and I think they are in there. You can uninstall them and stuff. Like I said, there are ways of uninstalling them. Windows security, yeah, you can see installed apps. They should be down there when we get in there. Apps is probably your other big important one. Camera, this don't have a fucking camera. We can actually remove that. Yep, get away. Copilot, get out of here. And I know. This is not going to totally uninstall code. I know. Maybe in the next video when we do like the customizer, but for this sake here, we don't need it. Family. I see. Maybe you want it. I don't. Feedback hub will be a good idea. Film and videos, yeah, gaming services, and you can see I have some games installed. Ink handwriting stuff, so you can use this screen to type on, you can use a style, so I will recommend actually having that in there. We have Intel, keep everything installed, keep the killer thingy. Mailing calendars. This is one you could actually uninstall. If you are never going, like I said, if you're just one of these people that plug it in, it starts up with the MSI Game Center or Steam big what is it called? Full screen big mode, big boy mode, what is it? You know, big boy pants mode. You can uninstall this. But I kind of like having a calendar and an email in case, you know, or at least can set up my email in case something happens. Maps, I will leave that in also. Media player, I will leave that in also. Bing, Edge, you can remove those if you want to. I just leave it in. Gaming input, you need that one. OneDrive, like I said before, if you are 1000% sure, like I said, you're only going to use it as a gaming device, and you are never, ever, ever going to access files you have on your OneDrive, like wallpapers or what the fuck do I know. I just liked it there because I kind of used my OneDrive a little bit as a backup and as like a hub for sharing between all my devices. Teams? No. And again, this is something I may want to uninstall on the good old ISO that I want to make, or make sure that it gets uninstalled by doing it in the command line. Windows To Do, no. Get rid of that one. Keep all of these. Visual C, that's probably for gaming. Keep that one, of course. Keep that one. This is also something they use for MSI. I think this is the sound kind of thing, this one up here. News? Yeah. And this is why I want to make a ISO for handheld gaming devices. Paint? No. You can always install it again if you actually fucking need. The same with people. Don't really need that one either. And again, these things here, a lot of people use them. And they may break something that people use if it was a laptop. But I'm using this as a gaming device. Quick assistance, keep that one. Audio. Now we are back at it again. So we uninstall a few things here. Offline maps. Oh, wait. Advanced app settings. What do we have in here? Too spare to get app anywhere. Archive. Automatically archive your infrequent use apps to save storage space and internet bandwidth. Your files and data will be saved, and the app's full vision will be restored on your next use. So basically, it uninstalls the apps if you're not using them, and you will just have like a download shortcut kind of thing. Uninstall updates unless you know what you're doing. Don't fuck around with that. How to install programs? Nope, we don't need to do that. Offline maps. Let's see if they've enabled anything. Oh, this is going to take. There you go. Meta connection map updates. Update automatically when plugged into Wi-Fi. Nope. Maps downloaded. Good. Make sure this says 0. Okay. We're not going to use this as a... You could use it as a GPS device, I guess. Startups, this is the thing we already... There's a little bit more in here, I guess. Yeah, I think there's a little bit... No, it's kind of the same. Yeah, it's the same. We already fucked around with that one. Game mode. Again, some people... This is a little bit of a touchy subject. But I will recommend having this on. I've only had good experience with it. On Windows 10, I probably will not. But here, accessibility, privacy, and security. Find my device. Device encrypt. You know, you can kind of do what you want in here. What I do want, diagnostic and feedback. Delete diagnostic and feedback. You can do that here. Feedback frequency. Automatic, always, never. Recommendations and offers. Sorry, I forgot about that one. Allow websites to access my language list. Improve start and web. So let's Windows improve start and search website by tracking which apps I open. Nope. Show notification. Required notification will be shown even if it's setting to off. Well, recommendations and offerings. Nope. Advertisement off. Do this. App permissions. Oh. Location, microphone, account info, contact calendar, phone calls. Oh. Like, I'm not going to call anyone on this one here. This is a little bit more personalization. I will, not to make this video massively more longer than it needs to be, I will go in and look at what all of these have and maybe disable what, like I said, phone call history. Like, oh, we don't need a call history. You get what I'm coming at here. Windows updates. I have this enabled. If you want absolute stability and less hassle, I will take this off. I just like keeping it on because I don't mind fucking around a little bit. This is one that I will recommend you go in and looking for. Active hours. Receive updates from my... No. Get me up to speed. No. So this will just automatically restart your computer if this is on. Don't want that. Download all method connections. No. Notify me when restart is required to finish an update. That will probably be helpful. Active hours. Don't set it to automatically because what it will do, it will look at when you're using your device. And if you're outside active hours, but it deems to be active hours, it may restart without you asking it or without asking you. So what I would do, I would go in here and do manually. And if you kind of like most people, this is a gaming handheld, okay? So most people are probably going to use this from 4 to... Oh, I forgot to set it to PM. There you go. Choose an end time that's not more than 18 hours from the start. That's not more than 18 hours. This is not even 18 hours. What are you fucking around about? There you go. I can't do that. Oh, well. I will do this because most people are going to play after work. So set your... Again, depends on who you are. But most people, like I said, will do this. I will probably only be using this when I come home from work. So set it to when you come home, like an hour before you come home from work or something. Let's say you're commuting or something like that. So that means that it will not restart unless asking you to. And you can say no in this time span here. If you set it to automatically and you, for some reason, for like a month, play a lot in the morning or a lot between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., it may reboot in the morning when you're having your morning coffee and you're sitting having your little Minecraft session with your coffee. It may reboot. So I always recommend doing this. And I set these differently depending on if it's my development laptop, if it's my computer at work, if it's my home computer. But I recommend doing this. Optional updates. Unless you have problems with something, don't update here. I recommend updating through the MSI Center, which I need to go and do, by the way. Delivery optimization, I will take this off. Limit bandwidth, nope. Upload options, keep that off. Activity monitor, download and upload use, we don't need to see that. That's kind of it from in here. And there are a little bit of other places you can go in. Another thing that, now that we are done and everything, I recommend that you find this one here. Let's just pin it to the taskbar. Run this once a week. And I will show you why. And this can take a long time to run, but run it and run it as administrator, by the way. Because you can save gigabytes, the big G, of storage on your devices, laptop, home computer, whatever it is. This is one of the best tools Windows have, okay? Most users don't even know this exists. And they go and pay money to get cleaning software. No. If I see you pay money for cleaning software for Windows, some of them are actually good, but if you're spending a lot of money, if you get one for $10, $15, $20, I'll be here. But if you're paying like a monthly fee just to clean out your computer, no. Use this and maybe a CC cleaner, or the registry cleaner kind of thing. But in that case, I want you to, again, if this was your laptop, I will download Revo, what is it called? Yeah, Revo uninstaller. I will download this one here. I've used this for over a decade, I think now. And I just used the free version, it's more than enough. And it will, when you want to uninstall, even set up a restore point so you can restore back in Windows if you want to. But yeah, if you're going to use this as a laptop besides gaming or on your Windows machine at home or your laptops, Revo uninstall is amazing. So what I would do here, I will take Microsoft Defender antiviruses, so old definitions, yep. Microsoft upgrade log files, yep. Windows Arrow, like downloaded program files, yep. Temporary internet files, yes sir. Windows Error reporting and feedback diagnostics, yes, this one can actually get really big. DirectX Shadowcast, not so much. Delivery optimization files, yep. Driver, device packages, so old drivers, etc. Yep. Language and resources file. Previous Windows install. Hello, boy. 30 gigabytes. Ooh. However, if you do this, you can't roll back. So you can't be like, oh, I don't like this new update of Windows. I want to roll back to the previous 21 or 22H, whatever the fuck it is. You can't do that. Unless you know that you're never going to, like, I never roll back Windows. I always just fix it. But if you want to roll back, keep this on. And I think it will only keep 1 or 2 previous versions, I can't remember. But I don't roll back. I live on yet, baby. So yeah, the recycle bin, a good idea. Temporary files, good idea. Thumbnails, really good idea. This here will save me almost 32 gigs. I have been in places where I have done this on computers and I've seen close to 200 gigs, if not over, that you could save by doing this. A free tool on Windows, and especially on a gaming device where storage is a premium. Run this once a week. At least after each Windows update. Not virus definition update, but an update where you need to reboot because of Windows. Because there will be delivery optimization files and stuff like that. Some of these will get deleted over time automatically, but you might as well just be on top of it. And this is going to take a long time. Depending on how big it is and how integrated into the system, how powerful your computer are, and blah, 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 all that things, it can take 2 seconds depending on how much you're removing, or it can take an hour. This is probably going to take like 20 minutes on this device here to do this, but yes, do you want to do this? Yes. And you can still go and game and do your stuff. I should not have put it down there because my fat ugly mug is covering it up. Leave that be. Let it do its thing. If you clean previous Windows install, yeah, I know. And then when you're done with these steps that I just showed you, I probably forgot something, skimmed over something. But these are the steps that I feel like you can do and have the minimum stability impact, the minimum irritations impact, the minimum all of what you could probably remove some more programs in Windows. You could probably even go into Windows Store and this library. Here it is, and you can go in and you can find. I have like 1 month of Game Pass because of this. Like you can see here what I have previous installed and whatnot. Show installed programs only. There you go. You could look down here and see again. Just have a gander. Look at explore the areas and see if there's anything in here. It should be the same as in the settings, but there may be something in here you don't want, and disable that. What this is going to do, I'm going to tell you this again, I'm going to make sure you understand it, is that this is super entry level. This is stuff that I do all the time, I've seen people do all the time, and in most cases, I'd say 99.99998% of the time, they've done this and they had no negative impact on Windows whatsoever in the future with updates or anything like that. The programs didn't get reinstalled. Nothing didn't stop working. Well, they can't call because I disabled the phone kind of thing. But you get the idea here. This is things you can do that will help you a lot but have almost no impact on how you're going to use Windows in the future. Laptop, gaming computer, handheld, and stuff like that. I would personally like to go even further with this handheld. So maybe a part 2 video where we go a little bit over from what to do on first install. I think I would call this like how to set up Windows for handheld in first install or something. I don't know. I would like to go a little bit deeper. Make sure that things are actually uninstalled. Cleaning out some registry stuff and whatnot, which could be a number 2 video. What I really, 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 really want to do is make a custom ISO that I put on a USB and then I reinstall it, and that custom ISO will have a lot of things disabled from the install, like so you can make a local account, for example, without having to do all kind of crazy shit. Blocking a lot of telemetry, blocking a lot of stuff, maybe setting a default wallpaper, heck, maybe even have a default login. If you want to see one of these, let me know. Best way of letting me know is go on to Discord, go into the video suggestion or request section, and say, I would like to see a video of step 2, or I want to see a video of you making a custom ISO. I think most people would be liking the custom ISO kind of thing. It is a little bit advanced. You need to know what you're doing. It will be a long, boring video. Way longer than this one and way more boring than this one. But I hope this was a little bit helpful and interesting. You can do a lot with Windows. A lot. Windows is not that rigid and uncustomizable as a lot of people say it is. It's actually super customizable. Heck, I may even install the wallpaper engine because I have that. And we could probably even theme the taskbar down here if we wanted to. I just hit the touch screen. There you go. If we wanted to, we could do that. You could probably also hear the fans kicking off by doing this previous installation removal here. A little bit of a side note before I go here. You have to remember, yes, Valve was the first one. They're using Linux and it's super optimized for handheld devices. And it's been out for many, many years now, or at least a few years, or some years. And Windows is just now starting to get into the market. But you have to remember, and this is not like a pro or con or me advocating or anything like that for one or the other. Windows or Microsoft is a massive company with a massive amount of money. It's like comparing a hobby fishing boat with like a aircraft carrier. So when something needs to change, a direction needs to change, the hobby fishing boat can do it in a split second almost. The aircraft carrier takes a little bit of planning, it takes a little bit of maneuvering, it takes make sure everything is started and stuff like that, and then they change course. But when they do, I'd rather not get in the way of the aircraft carrier. Even if it comes to the battle later, it will annihilate everyone. And that's what is could potentially, I'm not saying it is going to be like that, but this is what could end up be doing it. That Microsoft is like, yeah, we're slow to the party, but we have infinite money. We have infinite partner connections. They could make Windows run better on any handheld devices than Linux, FreeBSD, Haiku, macOS, whatever you want to put on it. They just need time. And they are going to take time, because if they can come to market with something that is not 1, but 5 times better, people are not going to use SteamOS anymore. I don't hope that is going to happen. We need competition. And it will be a little bit sad, because Valve was like some of the first ones out there showing the world that what we're doing here is actually useful. But don't sit there and say, haha, Windows or Microsoft has lost this battle. No. They are aircraft carrier that is slowly starting to maneuver into this space. But when they come and they're in here, they bring all the arsenal of an aircraft carrier, not just like a fishing boat. And that can be super dangerous for everyone around. Meaning, like, you may not see a SteamOS 4.0 or 5.0. It could happen. Or now almost every gaming handheld is running SteamOS. It may not be that in the future. It may be that most gaming handhelds is running Windows. Like it or not, like I said, I'm not advocating for it. I'm just explaining what could happen, and it's likely going to happen because this is what happened in the future. When a big player with a lot of money and a lot of power comes into a market, they take it over. Like it or not, it's just how it is. See you later. Bye-bye.